If you're in Seattle, and you need to buy or sell a home, we'll be right there for you. Because we're the realtors that you can trust. So go to ronanddonsitdown.com.
You're listening to The Ron and Don Show on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
Hey, you guys, what's going on? Happy holidays, and welcome to another edition of the Ron and Don Show. And we are back live in the Les Schwab studio.
What is up, Ron and Don Nation?
Hey, coming up on the Ron and Don Show, how many eras did Taylor Swift have? She had
the Eras Tour?
like 12?
I think she's had, I don't think there's 12.
10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. Anyway, we just found out that your brain scientifically has 5 eras, so we're going to talk about that. Also, Rich is going to be here from Les Schwab, right? He's one of the big reasons we're here in the Les Schwab studio, and we're going to talk about the Les Schwab Toy Drive.
Toy Drive is on right now through December 15th, so you can take a new unwrapped toy to any Les Schwab store, or you can also donate online.
Yeah. All right, let's get to it. First, we're going to start out with story number 1, and Ron, this has to do with you and I growing older, and I went out on BuzzFeed, and this is what someone wrote, and then people jump on and they comment. They say, when did you notice that you were growing older? Have you had a jarring moment where you realize you're not young anymore, and how does that relate? I'll share mine in a moment, but here's some of the things that other people shared. Marie shared, she's 73. She said, I realized I was no longer young when the music I like hearing in the supermarkets from when I was in middle school or in high school.
Yeah, sometimes there's a banger on it, Fred Meyer's. You're like, oh my God, they're playing Crazy Train by Ozzy at Fred Meyer right now. What is happening?
You know you're old when you have to maneuver yourself very carefully getting out of the bathtub. That's from John, who's just 50 years old in Arizona. I think we all have to be careful, though, when you're maneuvering.
It gets slippery in there.
Getting out of the bathtub. Also, I knew I was old when I was in the checkout line at the grocery store. And I was asked if I wanted the senior discount. Oh, that hasn't happened to me yet, but I have had people ask me if I have an ARP card. That, again, is from Johnny in Pennsylvania. A couple more here. I realized I was old when I went to a pub or a lounge, and I started feeling like I needed to ask if they could turn the music down a little bit. Yeah,
that's funny.
That's from Virginia, who's 64. I've done that in my car a little bit, where you pull up next to someone, and the bass is really banging, and then you realize, I used to do that back in the day. And then finally, I realized I was young when I was offered a seat on public transportation for the first time. And I was actually glad to take it. What about you? Anything where you look at it and you say,
two things specifically. Yeah. One's pop culture and one is a very specific memory with you. Pop culture one is, have you looked at like the Grammy Awards lately? And you're going through the Grammy Awards, like, I don't know any of these artists.
I know. I don't.
Like, our next live performance is by, and you're like, never heard of this person,
and you're like,
don't know who they are. Like, why are they on the Grammys? Like, where's Elton John? Like, what is happening right now?
We're Sting out.
We're Sting,
and you don't have kids, so you don't have a chance.
So that one hit me hard because I've always been a music fan my whole life. So to like go through multiple categories where I know 0 of the nominees is pretty tough. But the one that crystallized in my mind is we were at Cairo Radio, and there were 2 monitors, and so one of them was for the commercial reads, which was to my left, and the other one was where we would play sound out of to my right. And so here's being old part 1. I had tried out, my optometrist told me, try out these bifocals. Mm-hmm. So I had bifocal glasses on to try to focus on 2 different focal lengths.
I remember that, yeah.
And then we're doing a commercial read. So I was adjusting my bifocals, and I rotated to the left to read a commercial read and threw my back out. I wasn't like, snowboarding or mountaineering. I was rotating to the left to read a commercial, and I literally was like, oh, I couldn't even read the commercial because it was so painful, and my back was thrown out for like several weeks after this, and people would ask me what happened. I was like, I rotated to the left too hard.
Yeah. I was over at a friend's house not too long ago, and they have a daughter, and the daughter is in high school and is taking a health class, and she came over. I was doing some dishes in the kitchen, and she went, ooh. She said, you got your will? You got your will handled? And I'm like, yeah, I got my wheel handled. Why is that? She goes, oh, you got creases in your ear. And I said, I got creases in my ear. She goes, yeah. She said, do you know you have a 40% chance of having like a cause mortality heart attack before the age of 60 if you have creases in your ear? And I'm like, no, where did you learn that? She said, I learned that in health class today. So I've been out online reading it. You have a crease in your ear. Matt, do you have creases in your ear? Let me look.
I don't think Matt does have a crease.
I look all the time. Rich was just here from Les Schwab, and we recorded something with him about the toy drive. He was just here. We're about the same age. He has no creases. I look at everyone's creases in their ear now. Matt doesn't have any crease. Do you have one crease? Yeah, you have creases. Yeah, I've started these creases about a year ago, and now I'm like, holy shiznit, how do I get rid of the creases?
Are you gonna have plastic surgery on your earlobes?
No, I haven't yet. But and so I eat pretty healthy though. I take pretty good care of myself, and I'm kind of concerned about the creases now. But I look like I'm gonna go to my friend Joe and Jennifer's for Thanksgiving. I guarantee you, everybody there, I'm gonna be checking out their earlobes and checking out their creases. You are too now.
No, I read about the earlobe crease thing years ago.
What do you know about the earlobe crease?
That they did a study of trying to, like you said, link certain health outcomes to that. But they do the same sort of thing with grip strength and earlobe creasing. And
so you're not worried about your ear crease?
No.
When did your ear creases start showing up?
I don't know.
Yeah,
like
I've never noticed them until I went in here today.
You've had ear creases for a while,
and I said I'm going to see if Ron has ear creases, and I'm like, holy! I think yours are bigger than mine.
Here's the thing with the health.
Matt,
thing.
who has bigger ear creases? Is it Ron or myself?
I don't want to get involved.
Here's the thing.
I have more. I have like a couple, but you have one. But
here's the thing.
It's very prominent.
Like, live your life. Yeah. Like if you try to optimize
ear crease or no ear crease.
If you try to optimize for longevity on every single metric and story that you read, you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
Like they're one of the healthiest people I know just passed away recently. And so it's like guy wouldn't put stuff in plastic, drunk green tea every day. Like so like just live your life.
Yeah.
You're fine.
F the green tea.
You exercise, you eat pretty good.
Yeah.
Like you're active. You're going to die when you die.
I did do something this week, though. I was pretty shocked that I did it.
What's that?
Do you want to know what I
Sure.
did?
As long as it doesn't involve the Brady Bunch.
Okay. I'm in charge of buying pies or making pies for Thanksgiving. And so I was at the bakery, and I ordered 3 pies, and you already guessed how much the pies cost. But the pies are like $130
For 3 pies.
for the pies. Along with the pies, I'm in charge of getting ice cream with the pie.
Vanilla.
And then also, would you go Cool Whip? I know you've talked about putting cheese. This is a pecan pie. Do you say pecan or pecan?
Either way.
It's a pecan. It's a pecan pie. That pecan pie, because it has a little bourbon in it, it was like over $40. I think
sounds like a good pie.
It sounds like a great
If
pie.
anything left over, we'll swing it by my place.
Okay, so we got the bourbon pecan pie, we have the pumpkin pie, and then we have the old apple pie. And then you're saying now to put some cheddar cheese
on the apple pie.
on the apple
Good
pie.
quality cheddar.
You melt it
and melt it
in the microwave.
Wherever you can use a flame.
Well, the
if you
pecan
want.
pie is already made. I picked it up this morning. And the
Okay.
pumpkin pie is made. They say the apple pie you should make at home on Thanksgiving because of the aroma of the apple pie.
A good sharp cheddar.
When would you add the cheddar
if
to
it's
the
still,
pie?
whenever it's warm.
Hasn't been cooked yet.
Well, when it's warm, just have it
Like
it's
Mexican,
optional.
like shredded
Oh
cheese.
my God, no! Like get a decent
My God,
cheddar. No.
What would you put on there?
Like, don't
like
go-
a Tillamook?
Do you know about the artisanal cheese?
Of course I do. My son
section?
loves those
So
cheeses.
stay away from
Like
the
for one slice of cheese, it's $19.
Yeah, so get
Believe
some
me, I know about that effing cheese.
artisanal sharp cheddar cheese in a slice. Put that on. You can shred it if you want, but don't forget the pre-shredded.
Then
bag.
you're putting ice cream on. That?
No. You got to pick a lane, O'Neill.
Okay.
You're either like apple with if you're too sugary, like you're not a big sugar guy.
I'm not.
So like if you got
when it comes to pie, though, I can eat a whole pie.
put the ice cream on the side.
Okay.
If you want ice cream, put it on the side. But like I'm telling you, apple pie with a sharp cheddar, I think you're gonna love this.
Okay. Cool Whip?
I mean, I like to.
I love Cool Whip.
You can make your own whipped cream.
I don't
pretty
want
easily.
to. I just want
then
the Cool
just
Whip.
get Cool Whip.
I think I made a mistake, though. And then I did something that I haven't told anyone, and I'm not proud of it. but I think it's just part of getting older. I was told to get some vanilla bean ice cream.
Yep.
Then I saw the peppermint, like the candy
no.
cane
No.
peppermint ice cream.
Negative.
And I bought a big tub of peppermint ice cream.
For the pie accompaniment?
I think that I did.
That's no bueno.
It sounds wrong.
That's horrible.
But then guess what was next to it? There was a little pint
Of eggnog ice
of
cream?
eggnog ice cream.
Eggnog could work.
I couldn't get a bigger one. I'm like, do you got a bigger one of these? And they're like, no, we just got the small one.
I
So
bet that thing did not survive the night.
I took it home, and my plan was I'll just take this over, and then if
I'm just
people
going to taste it. I'm going to have one spoonful. Just going to taste it.
Well,
Make sure it tastes like eggnog.
This one is called Crooked Spoon. And in order to not get a crooked spoon, and it's made here locally, you're supposed to leave it out on the counter for 15 minutes.
Okay.
So
It's
mine
staring at
didn't
you.
last on the counter. Mine lasted about 2 minutes. And then I'm like, you know what? I got to taste this crooked spoon. And sure as shiznit, I got a crooked spoon, putting the spoon in there. Next thing I know, they say as you eat it, it's going to kind of turn into a taffy, like an eggnog taffy. Oh my God, it was so good. And I'm like, well, I got to taste a little more, taste a little more. The next thing you know, and I don't know why I'm doing this, but
Like the pint's halfway gone
well,
now.
I've been listening to a very Brady Christmas online, and then I'm like,
See
I'm
the
going to
Brady.
sit down, watch a little Brady Christmas. I'm gonna light the Yule log. Next thing I know, I've eaten the whole thing. It's just a little pint. How many calories do you think?
It's in an eggnog ice cream.
Yeah,
And a pint.
Turns into taffy.
and
It's
a pint.
got to be at least 1,500 to 2,000.
You know, you're right. It was 1541.
That happens to me on the Ben and Jerry.
Oh,
Have you
my-
had the Ben and Jerry's core?
No,
So they take the pint of ice cream.
that sounds good.
And then they have a machine that makes a core all
Yeah.
the way through the middle, and they
Yeah.
fill the core with your fixins. So it can be caramel, it can be
No, I like nuts. Nuts
and whatever.
Fudge.
And so the core. So you start eating the core.
No marshmallow, please. I do not like marshmallow.
And then
ice
the
cream.
next thing you know, your
That
thing, you're like, well, I'm already halfway through, and the core,
Okay.
and then you're done.
So you're saying do not take the peppermint ice cream to the.
If you still want your friends to like you,
Okay.
I would leave that
You're
at
saying
home.
pick up the vanilla bean.
Well, if
It's
if
a whole tub of it, though. I'm going to end
if
up
it's
eating.
a standalone ice cream, but it does not go with pecans, it does not go with apples, and it does not go with pumpkins. Have you ever had a peppermint pumpkin?
That's what I was thinking. I'm going to change it up.
Well, go at your own risk. I can't advise it.
All right, don't go anywhere. Rich from Les Schwab on the other side of this. The toy drive is happening right now. Here's how you can be a part, Ron and Don Nation. Don't go anywhere. Hey, you guys, Ron and Don here for Les Schwab. It is our favorite time of year. In fact, everyone at Les Schwab, this is their favorite time of year. It's time to give the gift of joy and join Les Schwab in creating a little holiday magic for all our local kids. Through Les Schwab's Toy Drive, your generosity helps local kids who might otherwise go without the feel of joy this holiday season, Ron. It's so important to the men and women that work in every Les Schwab store, isn't
Yeah,
it?
this has been going on for 30 years. Les Schwab has partnered with everyone in the community right here in Seattle to brighten the holidays. And so when we all come in, you can bring an unwrapped toy, take it right to your local Les Schwab. You can also donate cash for them to use buying power to buy toys so that every child gets a toy this holiday season. Donate a new unwrapped toy at your neighborhood Les Schwab today until December 15th. It's the Les Schwab Toy Drive now through December 15th.
Don't forget, you get more with less.
If you find yourself dreaming about a new home, go from just a dream to the dream team. Schedule your time at ronanddonsitdown.com.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Ron and Don Show. And Rich Ballman is here. And we are very excited because whenever Rich shows up and he has his white shirt on, that on one side says Les Schwab and the other side just says Rich, it means something cool is about to happen. It's happy holidays, and it's time for the Les Schwab Toy Drive, brought to you by Fox 13 in Seattle. First and foremost, Rich, I got to know, I know you're from Southern Oregon. I know Les Schwab was from Oregon. I know that Sonny Six Killer is from Oregon. And I know that you're from Oregon. So who's more famous, you, Sonny, or Les Schwab? And I think you and Sonny went to the same high school, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you play ball with him, or was he a different era?
Oh, no, he was way before my time.
He was, okay.
I was hoping you'd see that.
Yeah, I think he was there like 1969, 1970, something like that.
Yeah, graduated in 69.
Yeah, and you just graduated, I think, a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
How did you get involved with Les Schwab? Because I understand, and I know you're getting ready to retire here in a couple of years, and you and I are around the same age, and we've known each other for a long time. Were you 17, 18 years old when you first started in a Les Schwab store?
Yeah, 17.
What happened?
17. Just looking for a job.
Yeah.
Part-time job, and Les Schwab offered a tremendous future that I wasn't aware about at the time. That's what I learned later. And just fell in love with the business, fell in love with helping customers and solving problems and working with people, and just never left. It's been 38 years.
That's awesome. So tell everybody what you do today, because you used to work in a store. Now you oversee a bunch of stores, right?
Yeah, I'm an area manager. At Les Schwab, we have 20 area managers in the company that oversee about 600 stores. We all have about 40 stores, roughly. And so I'm on the road and in the store, and just taking responsibility and ownership over everything in the business, partnering with our awesome people on the front line that are actually getting the work done.
Yeah.
And it's very enjoyable. Yeah. It's been an awesome career.
Well, the cool thing is we're glad you're here, because usually you send one of the other guys because you're so busy, and we always love when the other guys are here. We're actually in the Les Schwab studios, and for people that don't know, we have lots of other advertisers, but our favorite advertiser is Les Schwab, and we want to thank you because we know that over the years that you've been a real champion for the Ron and Don show. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
How did we meet? Tell everyone how we met.
Well, it started with the effort that you guys put in during Hurricane Katrina, I believe. And we took note of that, and it to me, it resembled a lot of what our heart is in the community as well. Is putting forth extra effort, doing things that are special and different, that really makes a difference. That's what we love to do also. And it was just my take at the time. It's like, hey, we need to meet those guys. Yeah. We need to be partnered with those guys.
That was 20 years ago.
A long time ago now.
Hurricane Katrina happened August 29, 2005. Ron and I were working down there, and there's a station down there called the Big 870 WWL. And at that time, Cairo and the Big 70, they were owned by the same folks. So a lot of folks like Chris Sullivan, for instance, who's still at Cairo, he ended up going down there and working as a reporter. We ended up doing reports on Cairo. We started our radio careers at KJR a decade and a half before that, and we always wanted to come back. And they said, hey, you guys sound great down there, but I bet you'll sound better up here in Seattle. And what we did is we'd made a promise when we left New Orleans that we're going to go back and help rebuild some of the homes. So we partnered with you guys, we partnered with the Seahawks, and we went back and we built the Seahawk houses in places like the Lower Ninth Ward and the Holly Grove, which was really, really cool. Because when it comes to cause radio, that's what we're about. That's what Cairo certainly was about. And I know the Seahawks and Les Schwab are about. And of course, now Fox 13 as well. So let's talk about the toy drive. I'm pumped about it. What is the toy drive, and how did it start at Les Schwab?
Well, it's an exciting time of year. The toy drive started originally about a little over 20 years ago. This has been, I believe, our 13th consecutive year being partnered with Fox 13 Seattle. But about 20 years ago, and it started out small, it on a different platform. It was kind of half food drive, half toy drive. And this is, again, based on our culture and the DNA of our company of reaching out and making a difference in our communities. Our store managers during the holidays were doing that in each one of their individual communities. And we got to thinking, hey, what's that look like to do that on a more grand scale? Pump it up a bit and see if we can really make a difference. And so it ended up getting parsed out then, and the food drive kind of went one way and the toy drive went the other way, and the toy drive just really, really took off for a few reasons. But one of the reasons that we're able to accomplish big things is just the volume of stores we have. We have over 80 stores in Western Washington, and the volume of people we have, because we can do the heavy lifting on things that require that. And the toy drive, someone may not think about that, but it requires a lot of work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of effort that goes into it. So it eventually got us to where we're at today. And so we're just proud to say that every year we fire up that thing around the third week of November, and we shut it down about a week before Christmas, and hope to make a ton of difference in a bunch of people's lives.
So if you're hearing this right now, we are in November. It's Thanksgiving of 2025. And the toy drive goes until December 15th of 2025. How does it actually work? Because I know a lot of people, they'll give money online, but a lot of our listeners really like grabbing their kids and saying, hey, would you like to give up a toy this year and buy a toy for another child? Because there's a lot of not only symbolism in that, but there's a lot to learn for kids, right? To give up my toy so another child can have a toy. And then actually walking into a tire store, right? Walking into a tire store and putting your toy in a box. There's something magical about that. What happens to that toy, though, after I've walked into, and I'm going to go into the one in Ballard here. I walk in, I take this toy, I put it in the box. Where does the toy go from there?
Yeah. We collect all the toys that come into the stores. We put them all together, and we go down to Showware Center, which is just Grand Central Station. It's a celebration. Even though a lot of those toys are going to turn right around and go back to where they came from, we take them all there so we can celebrate the effort of our community and show everybody, thank everybody for what they did, provide a visual to them of the difference that they can really make if they want to put their best foot forward.
Can you describe that visual for people that haven't seen it? And every Les Schwab, they have these really, in fact, I saw your truck downstairs. And we have to go down there and take a picture when we leave the Les Schwab studios. We got to go take a picture of the Les Schwab truck. And you guys have all these cool trucks and they have lights on them and stuff. Kind of describe what happens on the day when all the girls and guys come from all the stores, because we've been down there. It's fantastic.
Yeah, well, the night before we usually close down pretty late, right around that time, and we count the toys first. Make sure that we have a solid count. We've been counting them all along and probably putting them off to the side in the back room or whatever, storing them. Get them all loaded up in a truck in yellow tire bags. And then collectively roll down to Showware Center, oftentimes, convoy style together.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
It's lots of trucks in a convoy.
I've seen some interesting things over the years. We've had to pull over a couple times and maybe pick a yellow bag up or something,
You didn't have a flat tire, though.
No.
What would you do if you had a flat tire? That's what I want to know. I bet you guys can figure it out. Yeah.
We all end up there at Showware, and there's 40, 50 trucks full of toys, and it's at that point in time you realize just how big a deal it is, and how many lives you're going to be able to change.
Your employees, your managers in all the stores, they love this. Why do they love the Les Schwab toy drive so much?
Don, that is, to speak to that is something that grows in them over time. But Les himself, Les Schwab, our founder, believes strongly in giving back to the communities in which we live and work. And one of the things that I love the most about working for Les Schwab, and have forever, is the fact that some of the rules kind of get thrown out the window. It's not just about sales and profits. It's about the whole picture, right? Not only, being a staple in your community, being there to help people for things that may not have something to do with what we're doing, right? And so that grows inside of them during their employment. By the time they become a store manager, they've got the keys to their store. They're responsible for that business every day. They're working with their local chamber of commerce. They're reaching out and getting involved in community events. And it's a privilege for us to be supported in doing that. And so, that has literally become the fiber and the DNA in our company of giving back to our communities. It's exciting for them. It makes them feel good that, hey, we have phenomenal customers that support us every day. And to be able to give back in that way and do that in reverse feels pretty good.
So, Rich, where do the toys, how do you, and I've always wondered this, and maybe it's the magic of Santa, but then how do the toys get from the truck at the Showware Center? And then I guess it's like 9 nights later, is a little fat man rolling around with your toys and taking all the credit? Or what is going on here? How does the toy, which I love that Dave Ross said this. I love that he said this. And we're going to actually have him come in next month and sit down. He's retired now from Cairo, but he said he'd love to come in and sit down and do a show with Ron and I. So I'm excited about that. I asked Dave, I said, hey, what does a toy mean? And he said, a toy to a child is a symbol that you have not been forgotten this holiday season. And so many times for kids, when they see other kids getting things or going to parties or feeling connected to family or friends, sometimes they feel really left out. And he said that toy, just one toy, can make a big difference to a child. And I know that you guys believe that. How do you get that toy in the hands of a child?
Yeah, great question. From ShoWare Center, we push those things out that go geographically back to the areas they came from. So if we have toys that came from Kitsap County or Clallam County and out on the peninsula up to Bellingham, they go back to that community. We've partnered with 12 large nonprofits throughout Western Washington that then we let them do their job, right? Yeah. And their job, they have the distribution streams and ideas and systems and processes to get those out to the families that need them. And they're working hard right now, too, to determine who those people are and how they can help and how they can reach as many folks as possible. We have some other small nonprofits. We even partner with some local nonprofits in just one individual city because there's a huge need there. And we just try to fill that need wherever we can. So we're taking responsibility for those toys. We make sure they get in the right hands and that they'll get out to the kids before Christmas.
Yeah. So now you and Ron are going to chat tomorrow on tomorrow's podcast. And I know he's going to ask you this question, so you better be ready for it. He wants to know your favorite story involving maybe kids or toys or a customer that came in, your favorite story ever. So you better be ready for that because and he's standing over there right now. He has some pretty tough questions for you, so you better ready to go.
I've got one.
All right. So again, what do we want people to do? The Les Schwab Toy Drive, that's also sponsored by Fox 13 Seattle, is going on right now.
Yes.
Again, for people that are listening to this podcast maybe later on in the year, it is Thanksgiving 2025. This is happening through December 15th, 2025. And we would like people to do what?
There's lots of ways you can give. So we have, 8 different events going on that you can give, all the way from men's basketball game at Alaska Airlines Arena in Seattle against UCLA coming up on the 29th. We've got a football game coming up here soon. Actually, the basketball game is on the 3rd, excuse me. Football game on the 29th against Oregon's an opportunity to give.
You guys will be there collecting toys?
We're going to be there collecting
at
toys and cash at the game.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll have folks there. We're also going to have an opportunity to give online. And not only do we get the toy in the child's hand, we get the cash in the right hands as well.
Yeah.
And we take being stewards of that cash is important to us. Being good stewards of that, we make sure that it gets to where it needs to go. So if folks aren't able to donate a toy and they're able to provide a cash donation, it definitely is going to do what they want it to do in their community.
All right. Well, Ron and I wanted to be a part, so we went out and we bought some toys for the Les Schwab Toy Drive. If you want to throw these in the Les Schwab truck, great. If not, we will make sure it gets to a Les Schwab store.
I should have brought a yellow bag with me.
You should have. And that's my final question. Are there... Sometimes people want to go out and they want to buy things for little kids, and they don't remember that there's bigger kids sometimes that need a toy too. So like when we were buying this drone yesterday, I said, I have to keep in mind that there's kids out there, right?
Yeah.
That sometimes that are 14, 15, 16 years old, and they need a toy too. So Are there any gaps in the giving ever that we're concerned about?
Yeah, there sure is. I'd like to go back to your question before, though, real quick.
Sure.
Fred Meyer stores. We're going to be there 2 different times on the 5th and the 9th of December. And we'll be at 17 different Fred Meyers throughout Western Washington.
Yep.
It doesn't cover every Fred Meyer, but if you go to Fox 13 Seattle /Toy Drive, there's a list of them in there. You can also go to leschwab.com /Toy Drive. Go to the Washington section. You'll find information about the Toy Drive there. And then, of course, our stores. That's the number one place to give. If you have a toy, drive into the store, stop by any one of our stores in Western Washington, pull right up to the front door if you can. Honk your horn, do whatever you need to do. Don't get out of the car if you don't have to. Someone's going to come out and help you. We'll take that from you. If you want to come into the store, we welcome you. Grab some hot coffee and some popcorn and maybe take a look at what's going on with other folks there that are donating. You're certainly welcome, but otherwise we're there to serve. And so roll on into the store and we'll help you out with that.
Yeah. I know you guys are about tires, but this is about toys. And I have to admit, when we first did this, I thought, yeah, they're going to come running and grab your toy, and then they're going to try to hustle you to sell you a pair of tires. That is not the experience at all. This really is about toys, and it's become part of the culture of what Les Schwab does. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. Rich, don't go anywhere. Ron's going to be back tomorrow, which is actually today because we're recording today. So he's going to come slide in here and just talk more about the toy drive. And then also, if people are out driving right now, Matt, can we take all these things and all these links and make sure that we just link it in the comment section of the podcast? So I'm excited, man, and we're excited to be a part.
Awesome.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right. Thank you guys for your support.
All right, of course. Don't go anywhere. It's the Les Schwab Toy Drive, brought to you by Fox 13 Seattle and Ron and Don. Proud to be a part of it, and we are broadcasting live from the Les Schwab Studios. Do you want to say that? Broadcasting live from the Les Schwab Studios? Say this. We're broadcasting live from the Les Schwab Studios. We'll see you on the other side.
We're broadcasting live from the Les Schwab Studios. We'll see you on the other side.
Yeah!
Ron and Don, from radio to real estate. When you're ready to grab a cup of coffee and sit down with the guys, go to ronanddonsitdown.com.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Ron and Don Show. And don't forget to get out to Les Schwab store. There's over 80 stores in Western Washington. Drop off a toy. And then, again, the thing that I love is in dropping off a toy, you're dropping off a symbol. And the symbol is that a child has not been forgotten.
And it's fun to shop for toys.
What's that?
It's fun to shop for toys.
It is, man. I went toy shopping yesterday at Fred Meyer just so we could give a couple toys to Rich before he left, and he was kind enough to take them over to the Ballard store. I gotta say, I started playing with a couple.
It's fun.
Yeah, and you really relive your boyhood a little bit. So there were no Rock'em Sock'em robots.
No.
Though. And there was no Mattel football.
Everything's on Wi-Fi these days.
It is, yeah. Anyway. All right, speaking of these days, my son is 15. He's about to turn 16. I did ask him the other day if he thought the wrestling team needed some help. He goes, I don't think they're hiring old guys, Dad. He was sincere about it, too.
Yeah.
And speaking of old, it's kind of unique. You and I are reading this story about the brain, and I'm very curious about his brain because I know at 15 or 16 that his frontal lobes are just not built and connected yet, right? And for young boys, that happens until about the age they're 24, 25. This was a really interesting story because they studied 4,000 people with 4,000 brains, Ron, and they said, you know, what's interesting about the brain is the brain actually has eras. And one of those eras, they say, is around the age of 30. And then also, as you and I were getting closer, I think it was 62 or 63, somewhere around there. And then there's a big change in the brain around 83 as well. I'm looking for these spots because we were just talking in the first segment about growing older when we're just going to effing fall off the cliff, right? And how can we stop that? And can we make it a gradual downhill motion rather than falling off the cliff? And I thought this brain study was actually pretty interesting.
The thing that jumped out to me was the first two eras, the from zero, newborn to 9 years old, is this massive plasticity in the brain. And that's where, you know, when you meet someone who's completely fluent in 2 languages or 3 languages, they always were speaking both languages from 0 to 9. And then the one that jumped out at me is the second era is 3 decades long. So to your point, I had thought before I read this article that, like, you know, girls mature faster than boys, and they, you know, maybe late teens, and then, you know, young men mature into their early 20s. But to go from 9 to over 30 is that second era to where your brain is, it's still developing in a lot of ways, and it's not solidifying. But like, let's say you started to pick up a language at age 21 or something, you're going to have that accent. You do not have the capacity to have both accents fluently. You're going to have your vocal cords and your brain is locked into one way of speaking. And there are some edge cases that can do this well, but you get into, your 30s, and now your brain is kind of what it is. But the cool thing to me, if you overlap this with some other studies, is personality change. I always enjoy talking to someone and go, what were you like when you were 21, 22 versus 29, 30? The change in personality, in worldview in that decade, I think is the biggest one on this list. And then, as you said, as you go through 30 to 60, you kind of have another multi-decade chunk to where you're operating on all cylinders, unless there's some sort of disease or trauma or something that happens. You're in a sense, a real, if you think about it as a bar graph, like you're just riding along, you're plateauing in a sense, hopefully trending a little bit upwards of full brain capacity.
Yeah. Do you think about people that get married young, and then a lot of times into their 30s, we might see a first divorce, right? You also think about people having midlife crisis. Do you think midlife crisis, divorce, do you think that kind of plays into some of this?
I think that it could. I always wonder if that's more psychological than brain chemistry wise, because your brain is pretty stable. But the more I read about AI and about social media and my own experiences, I think that we are going to be rediscovering stuff about the brain every single year going forward. Because I was even thinking last night, it's like my brain and how much I partake of like social media, YouTube, all of these things, it's changed. Like, I think the structure, I don't know if the structure of my brain, the presentation of my brain has changed over the years because of how I consume media.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm reading a book right now called What Our Fathers Saw. And if I read this book like in my 30s into my 40s, I don't think I would react to it the same way that I'm reacting to it now.
Who's it by?
It's by Matt Rosel, and he has a series of books. And the interesting thing, it's a little Band of Brothers-ish. The difference is it is these young boys that are 17, 18, 19 years old that have gone off to war. And these are the replacements. We always hear about the soldiers that stormed the beaches of Normandy, but you don't hear about the replacements for all the boys that died at Normandy. So these young men were drafted. They would be sent to a place called the Replacement Depot. And then as young boys died all over Europe, and also as we were out in the Pacific, you would just send for a replacement, and the replacement would just show up in a foxhole. You were in Nebraska, you got drafted, you had a little bit of training. You didn't get the same training that a lot of these soldiers, Marine airmen, sailors got when they first went and they stormed the beaches of Normandy. But you're showing up now with a guy that's not a replacement, that's a grizzled veteran after storming that beach, and let's say it's on to Paris or whatever.
23-year-old grizzled
vet. And it's incredible, though, to hear, because you talk about that neuroplasticity. When these guys came home, all they wanted to do, and they were so thankful, many of them were thankful for the war. Many of them, and especially the Jewish young boys that went over there, they would wear an H on their dog tags because they wanted the German soldiers to know that they were Jewish. And many of them were singled out, sent to camps. Many of them were murdered and killed, and many of them had to do some hard labor that a lot of American soldiers didn't have to do. They were treated differently. But when they came back, they were thankful for the war, what it taught them, thankful for their lives, if they still had most of their body parts. They were so thankful for the GI Bill and the government. They all knew where they were on Sunday when Pearl Harbor happened. and they came back with such gratitude. And you read about it because this book is very graphic. It's hard to read it. In fact, the last couple nights I haven't been able to read it and sleep. It's kept me up all night because they're telling you what it's like to be in that fox, and it's their story. They're telling you the story of what it's like to be in that foxhole, and then to hear the German tanks coming, the Panzers, or to hear the Germans, and it's 40. The Battle of the Bulge, they had no winter clothes, and it's 30 to 40 degrees wind chill below zero.
And that's all happening when their brain is in this this window of time.
That's it. Yeah. So I was thinking about this, and then they come back. And people always wonder, why didn't they tell those stories then? Because they were in a place of gratitude. They wanted to move on with their life. But then, when do the stories come out? And we've talked to authors over the years that have written about this generation. It's usually when they get into their 80s. When they get into their 80s and they understand that they're going to die, they want to make sure that they tell their story. And the reason they want to tell their story is because they want people to know about the boys that didn't come home. And when you and I went and we toured those beaches in Utah beach specifically, and then at the end of it, we went to the graveyard where all these bodies had to be dug up and replanted, right? And I remember we were with Dale, and we spent the whole day with him. And then at the end, he just said, "I'm just going to stand here, and I'm going to allow you guys to walk." When you walk through that graveyard and you see all these boys, 17, 18, 19 years old, that never came home. Many of them had never been out of the country until they had been drafted, typically by the Army. And you start thinking about the lives that could have been. And the thing is, those 83, because they talk about the brain changing in your 80s, these 80, 83-year-old men, as they head towards 90 and 100, they want to tell the stories of those guys because they want you to know that they don't see themselves as heroes, but they see those guys as heroes, and they want you to know their story. I'll ask you this. I'm headed towards 60. Do you think about death every day? Do you think about dying every day?
Not every day.
I think about it every day. And it might be.
Why do you think that is?
I think because of my son. Like you really realize that you're an older dad. You go to events, you see how young the dads are compared to. I'm probably 10, 15 years older than a lot of the dads there, and your prayer every day is to be able to get. My prayer every day is to give him a good push in the world, and so that's one of the reasons why I've really tried to focus on taking care of myself as I've gotten older. And when I was younger, I was probably pretty reckless with that. But as I've grown older, and then like you did have a very good friend that passed away this week, and you think about, we're getting invited to more funerals than we are to folks getting married these days. And I think because we've been in the radio, we've lived all around the country, we probably know a lot more people than most people do as far as a sphere of people. And anytime someone passes, it's a reflection, and you pull out a mirror and you look at yourself and you're like, how am I spending my minutes and moments? In my case, am I being a good dad? Am I being a good friend? Am I being a good human? Am I being a good dog owner? Am I being a good neighbor? Am I being a good son, a brother, all that stuff? I kind of think about that every day when I'm taking those moments of gratitude. Because and it brings me back to a place. I'm grateful to be alive, and I'm grateful to have my health, and I'm grateful to have the life that I have. So
I think I probably think more about life than death, but the subtext is, I don't dwell on it, but I just think more about life.
Yeah. Anyway, if you got creased ears,
It's all over.
you may want to chat GPT that. Yeah, I did the other night. Anyway, are we done? Yeah,
That's
I think
it.
we are. Hey, you guys, thanks for listening to this episode of the Ron and Don Show. Don't forget to get out to a Les Schwab store. And if you can't get out to a Les Schwab store, maybe you're going to a Husky game or a Seahawk game. You can drop a toy off at a Les Schwab, or you can stop in a Fred Meyer as well, right?
Yeah, and you can even do it online if you're super busy and you just want to do a donation. We talk about with Rich in tomorrow's show, talk about how much they can multiply or leverage the cash that they get as well.
Yeah. And don't forget, we love radio and we love what we do here, but we really love real estate right now. Listen to us. If you're thinking about, if you ever thought about buying a piece of real estate, now is to consider the time. If you've ever thought about buying something as an investment property, now is the time. After October 31st through really probably January 15th, that is the sweet spot where people aren't paying attention. Things that are for sale right now need to be for sale. You should get one of our buyer's playbooks if you're thinking about that. And you were out with a buyer yesterday.
Yeah, you can go to ronanddonsitdown.com or just email me too if you can't remember, ron@ronanddon.com.
Yeah, we got a buyer's playbook, a seller's playbook, and we would love to sit down with you and talk about a strategy. If you're thinking about selling a house next year, we should be talking this year. So go to Ron at ronanddon.com, and I'm Don at ronanddon.com. Everything is at ronanddonsitdown.com. All right. Thanks to Matt and to Grace. Thanks to Rich for stopping by, and all our friends at Les Schwab. Thanks to Q13 of being a part of this as well this year. Also want to thank my son for being our 8-year-old station voice, and of course, Charlie the dog. He's Ron. I'm Don. Until next time, you keep your head up and your shoulders back. You've been listening to the Ron and Don Show all night on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
Well, that's it. Show's over. We'll see you next time on the Ron and Don Radio Network.